Product creation. Using PLR content to create useful tools. Now, a really good package doesn't just include how-to information. It also includes tools that make it easy for people to implement what they've learned. That's why your package should include tools such as checklists, cheat sheets, worksheets, planners, and more. Now, if you're lucky, you'll find PLR content that includes these tools. But many times, however, you'll need to create these tools yourself. But the good news is that you can do it with PLR content, which is much faster than doing it from scratch. Now let's take a look at how to create some of the most common tools. Checklist. A checklist is a short but brief list of all the steps the user needs to take in order to complete a process. This is fairly easy to create because all you have to do is literally copy and paste the steps from the PLR content. And this includes both the main steps as well as any sub-steps within those main steps. For example, if you are compiling a list of steps for setting up a blog, it might look something like this. Step 1, install WordPress, and this would be your main step. The sub-steps would include download the files from wordpress.org, unzip the files, create a database, rename the config file, upload WordPress files to your server, run the script with the WordPress installation script. Step 2, customize WordPress, which is your main step. And then here, you'd list all the sub-steps within this main step, just like the example I've stated on the first step. Now just take note that the steps are listed without explanation. The how-to content should include the details, while the checklist is just a reminder or overview of what to do. Cheat sheets. Now, cheat sheets are similar to checklists in that they include lots of information, but very few details. Now, cheat sheet is typically one page, and it includes the main steps of a process, important sub-steps, tips and ideas, examples, mistakes, do's and don'ts, and similar. Now, the idea is to pull as much information as possible from the PLR content, but just be brief. Each step, tip, idea, or other piece of information should be around one sentence, or in some cases, just a few words. Now, people will need to refer to the content itself to get the full details or a step or tip if needed. Planners or calendars. Now, a planner or calendar is where you give people a list of steps they need to take on a specific day. Now, to create this, do the following. Start with a how-to piece of PLR content. Determine how long it will take for the average person to complete the various steps. Rewrite the content so as to assign an action step to each day, week, or hour, just depending on how your planner is set up. And be sure that the task is complete by the time the person walks through all the steps. Now, for example, this guide you are checking right now is an example of assigning an action step to each of 31 days. Swipes. Swipes are typically just examples, such as you can comb through your PLR content to compile as many examples as possible. For example, if you are creating a copywriting course, you might pull all the headline examples out of the PLR content to create a headline swipe file. Templates. Now, this is where you create fill-in-the-blank templates for readers to use. In this case, you pull examples out of the PLR content, but leave key points blank for readers to fill in themselves with the necessary information. So let's go back to the example of a copywriting product where you are pulling the headline examples. Let's suppose you find an example headline like this: How to get rid of cellulite for good. You can turn this example into a fill in the blank template like this. How to get rid of, you can insert some bad or unwanted thing for good. Now, action steps. Your task for today is to continue working on your PLR content in order to make it unique, add value, and do what's necessary to create your package.